Okay, in this case, what we're going to look at is what we call a sex-linked trait. So in this particular case, we're talking about color blindness, typically common in men more than women. I'll show you why in a second here. There's other sex-linked traits such as hemophilia is another good example, but so either hemophilia or red-green color blindness are two that you commonly see. And so this particular case here, what we have is we have a colorblind man, and he marries a woman who has normal vision, but whose father was colorblind, and they ask you to figure out first what the genotype of the man and woman are. So remember, the phenotype is the physical outward appearance of a particular gene. So, you know, they have brown hair or blue eyes, that would be a phenotype. And a genotype is the genetic makeup. So the genotype in this case would look like this. This would be the woman, and this would be the man. And in this particular case, you need to put the allele for the color blindness along with the X chromosome. So when you do this, you have to put the X and the Y chromosomes when you do these crosses, because this is what you call a sex-linked trait. And so it turns out that depending on whether you're male or female, you get slightly different outcomes, because you have to look at the X chromosome in this particular case. Most of these sex-linked traits are going to be found on X chromosomes. So the next thing they ask you is to figure out, well, if you try to figure out the genotype of this particular mom here, of the woman, let's say, what you'd have to do, you have to think about what her parents would be like. Okay, now if you have a woman, as they say, with normal vision, but whose father was colorblind, so this would be her father, okay, and because she's a female, she's going to get two X chromosomes. She's going to get one from mom, and she's going to get one from dad. So the one she gets from dad, because her dad is colorblind, and because he's a male, has an X and a Y, the only X that the dad can donate is this X, which has the colorblind gene on it, since it's recessive. So she gets that, okay? Now the mom, you don't know about necessarily her mom, but since they don't tell you otherwise, they tell you that the girl, or the woman in this case, has normal vision, but her father was colorblind, so you know she has one copy there. But you don't really know, since she has normal vision, you assume she has a mom that has at least one dominant trait. But the mom could also be a carrier. So this could be a lowercase n, and the mother could be a carrier, but you know that she didn't get that in, that lowercase n, otherwise she would be colorblind. So in this particular case, you don't know for sure if her mother is homozygous dominant or if she's heterozygous, but either way, you know she has that one dominant trait because she has normal vision. Okay, so then the next thing they say is to show the progeny, or what the progeny or the offspring of what you would get using a Punnett square. So you draw your Punnett square, and you put all the different options that, once again, those two people could make. So up here I put the male, and again, doesn't matter if you put the male here, as long as you have all the combinations available. So here we have the male, and when the male goes to make sperm, he can, among his different chromosomes that get made, he can have a sperm that has an X in it with that N, or sperm that has a Y in it. The female, who has only X chromosomes, when she makes an egg, can make an egg that has this particular allele in it, the big N, or one without it. So then you just cross them and you say, okay, what if this sperm fertilized that egg? What would you get? And these are all the different options that you get. And what you find when you do this is that you get, in this particular case, as you would see here, you get X big N, X little n, and so this would be, for example, a female that is a carrier for color blindness, but has normal vision herself. So then they ask you things like, okay, what are the chances that a child will be colorblind male? And if you look right here, that one individual there, so you notice that you've got the X and the Y, okay, and then the two X's, so your chances of having a male or a female are 50-50. So there's two females, here's your two males, but the chances that you're going to have a colorblind male are 1 in 4, 25% with these people, because this person here is going to be colorblind because they have the X in the lowercase n, and because they're a male, the Y chromosome, remember, has different genes on it. So the X and the Y are not homologous like they are in the autosomes where you have chromosome 2 or 3. So since they carry different genes, a male has only one X and therefore only that one allele, and therefore you see the recessive trait in a male because there's only that one copy. Then they ask what are the chances that a girl will be colorblind, and in this particular case, once again, it's 25% because this is right here the one girl in this case that would be colorblind, because you notice she's got both copies of the recessive allele, and so since she's a female, the two X chromosomes are homologous to one another and therefore do carry the same type of genes, so she has to have two copies of that and no dominant trait in order to see that. Then they said, what are the chances that the child will be a girl who's a carrier for the trait? And that would be this one right here. Once again, 25%, because you have the big N and the little n. This person here is a female with normal vision, but is what we call a carrier. Basically is the same as her mom would be. And then they say, what are the chances that a child will be phenotypically normal? In other words, what are the chances that you'll have a child, regardless of male or female, but just what are the chances that you have a child that will not be colorblind? And in that case, it would be 1/2 or 50%, because both of these individuals here would be phenotypically normal for the colorblind trait and would essentially not have color blindness. One would be a female, one would be a male, but they just basically ask you here, what are the chances of having a child like that, and they don't specify male versus female.